This is the Let's Go Win podcast with your host, J.M. Ryerson.
Hey, what's happening, you guys? Welcome back to Let's Go Win Tuesday tune-up. I have to my right...
Ryerson. Hello, everyone.
Good morning, Miss Lisa. How are you doing today?
Good morning, Mr. JM. I'm doing well.
So this doesn't roll off the tongue. It's,
Miss Lisa.
Miss Lisa
Mr.
rolls.
JM.
Although you're not really a miss. Well, never mind.
I'm not a miss anymore. I would be a Mrs. And people start calling me ma'am. Yeah, not cool.
Not cool.
Not cool.
Not cool. So we are going to talk about simplifying your message in order to be heard. Everyone wants to feel heard in this world. Like, it's one thing when you have something to say, you want people to hear it. But I want to give some tips on how to be heard better. And this will be interesting because simplifying your message, especially when it comes to males and females, because I talk far differently than you do and you and your girlfriends. So it'll be interesting to see what your thoughts are. So before I get into any of the tips, when I say simplify your message to be heard, what does that hit you? How does that hit you?
Like, get to the point and be very clear. I know where you're going with this. I don't know that I like it.
Well, so state your intent immediately is the first thing that I would say. So, for instance, often when you and I are talking, and again, I'm generalizing, but a lot of times females will give you the entire story when all I really need to know is like, you wanted an apple juice. I didn't need to know all the other things that went into the juice, where to find it, why you bought the juice at the certain store, who you ran into, what magazine you looked at, the candy bar that you did not buy. You wanted an apple juice.
But it's so much more fun with all those details, JM.
Is it though?
For me, it's fun.
It is interesting though, because so often I'll have to ask you like, what are you looking for again? Because you're telling me a story and I just can't follow it. And so this is something that happens, especially if people are, they're chatty. They like to communicate, more words than I am. I guess I'm pretty to the point and concise with my communication, but that is something that can happen is if you don't state your intent, I will lose it. Like, I don't know what you're actually asking of me.
Yeah. So what I have learned over the years, because you are simplifying your message constantly and going, well, because that's how males operate, right? I mean, for the most part. What do you need? Can I fix it? What can I do for you? What exactly do you need? And so sometimes I just need a vent. And I have learned to come to you and go, hey, JM, I don't need you to fix this. I am just here to vent. And I need you to just listen. And you've done a very good job with doing that. What if I state my intent? Because that's my full intent, right? I just need you to be there to listen.
No, and it's interesting. I wasn't thinking of it this way, but you're right. You do that. Like, hey, I need you to just be here and not say anything. I just need you to listen. So you did actually state your intent there. So and sometimes you just want to share stories, even though I'm like, hey, gotta go, need to know what's happening. But you're right. You do a good job of that. Mm-hmm.
Sometimes I just like to communicate with my husband. I mean, is that wrong?
Sometimes. So stating your intent immediately, it just makes it easy for people to know exactly what you're trying to accomplish. Why are we having this conversation? Where is this going? What do you need? Or what are you trying to tell me? And then you can give the stories. Because like on this podcast, if I just stated the intent, like these are the three things, nobody's going to watch it. It's boring. Like, that's one thing you do a great job of. You bring stories. Sometimes I get very focused where all I'm saying is these are the points. And I know that's boring as well. So, but I do want to state the intent immediately. All right. So the next thing is to say it again and again and again. Because saying it one time. So if we like to our 14-year-old or now 15, holy cow, driver's license or
he got
driver's
his permit the other day.
Frightening.
Watch out. If you live in South Florida, like, get off the roads immediately. It's bad.
But for instance, you asked him to do something this morning. Did he do it the first time?
I don't even know if he's still done it.
Okay, fine. But sometimes you have to repeat it more than one time.
Like 5 times. 5.
Okay.
Exact.
But that shouldn't really frustrate you. And here's why. Most people don't just respond the first time you say it. Here's a big reason why. We have an attention span that falls anywhere between 12 to 8 seconds. So again, if you didn't state your intent right away, let's say you were talking to him about 3 or 4 different things, and then you say, hey, by the way, TJ, I need you to watch the dog. Maybe he heard the first 3 or 4 things, timed out, and didn't actually hear what you wanted him to do.
Yeah, so I've learned. So for the record, I live with 3 boys. Yes, you're one of my boys.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And I have realized that. So like if you gave me a list like, hey, Lisa, I need you to do da, 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 da. I'm like, got it. You know, I'll do all 4 of them at the same time. Yes, probably not at the level that you want me to do them at, but I will do half the laundry, go do half the dishes, and then come back and I can jump around and do a million things. That's how female brain works, right? For the most part. Now, male brain, I actually had to go to a class for this, by the way, to figure out difference between male and female and how we communicate one thing at a time, especially with males. And so I've learned that with 3 boys in my house. Here is a one thing I need you to do right now. And sometimes they go, yeah. But what I've also realized, I have to get in their little faces. Actually, their faces are kind of big now. And I get in their little faces like this, and I go, hey, I need you to do this right now. And they go, okay, mommy. It's like, and then I have them repeat back to me, what exactly did I just tell you? And then they go, oh, I need to do this. Okay, perfect. Please go now. And then they'll go.
Well, and the repeat thing is great because, again, now you know they have an understanding of what you're saying, and then you might even reinforce it one time. So if you ever watch marketing, you will notice they always state whatever they want at least 3 times, and usually they'll do it up to 7 times. If you're watching a commercial, it won't just be one ask. They'll say it multiple times so that you really hear what they're asking you to do, whatever the call to action is. So the same idea with communication. Whatever you want, don't think because you said it one time, it's been registered, heard, and they know what you want. You may have to say it again and again, and then just one more time, just say, are we clear? I know it sounds almost like rude or like I'm not dumb, but truth be told, maybe I am. Maybe I'm slow. So maybe you just need to say it a couple times.
Yeah, my boys can be very special at times.
Thank you. I will take that as a compliment. I appreciate that.
Compliment.
And so lastly is less is more. Okay. Now this is again where you and I communicate differently. So frequently people will, again, maybe they state their intent and then they go into something and they will go into a 5-minute story when the truth is all they wanted to say was this one thing, but then you lose their point. And so often, especially if you have an ask, less is more. So saying fewer words, it allows for more dialogue, more questions to be asked so that you're not dominating the conversation.
Agreed.
So this is your less right now. That's not great for radio or TV if I'm asking you a question and you give me nothing back. Now, I can continue to talk if you would like.
Less is more, JM. Less is more.
Okay, I am asking for your thoughts on this because, again, going back to the way females communicate versus males, I'll watch you guys and you guys will talk on top of each other, around each other. I mean, but that's not rude, where for me, it's hard to follow that.
Yeah. Simple brain versus complex brain, maybe?
Being very nice right now.
I'm totally kidding. Okay, so yes, less is more. And what's really funny is that, yes, I love stories when I get with my girlfriends. I mean, we're like, right? And it drives you absolutely bonkers. But when I'm in work mode, I definitely switch with that. Like work mode, and even when I'm text messaging with clients or, whatever, I'm like, okay, we got to get to the point. Like it's a very efficient way. So when you are trying to be efficient and need to get the point across, like less is definitely more. And I there are times in my life, trust me, I know you always say I can talk to a doorknob, which I probably could, for hours on end. But when it comes to certain things that I need happening right here and I'm not the most patient human on the face of this earth, it's definitely less or more. Less is more.
Well, it's really when I want people to employ this is when you really want to be heard, when this is important to you. So like, for instance, sometimes we need to step back and say, I need you to hear me right now, state my intent. I'll state it multiple times and just be very clear. I won't jumble it up with all these reasons. I'm very clear. That's really what I'm talking about. If you feel like you're not being heard, and this happens in a marriage, shockingly, but where you're like, you're not hearing me. And that's when I'll just state exactly what I want or need. And I'll say, look, I need you to hear me. Then I'll state it again, and I won't jumble it up with stories. So that's the whole idea of, if you want to communicate more efficiently, state your intent immediately, say it multiple times, and be more concise. Does that make sense?
Totally.
So we had a playbook come out. Where can they get that and check it out?
So exciting. So the playbook you can grab on Amazon. Actually, that's exactly where you can get it on. So Amazon, it's super inexpensive, super fun. We've had so many people that have absolutely loved it and have given us great feedback on it, because it's just an accountability buddy, right? And it is less is more. It's very, very simple. Trust me. Anybody can do it. And our kids are on it right now. So
yeah, and we got to get the book sales up, because I'm ready to write another one. So go get it. It's $10. Get it out there, because I want to write another one, but she won't let me until we get the sales up. So no, I hope you guys check it out.
Less is more.
So until next time, you guys continue transcending life. We'll talk to you then.
Bye.
Thank you so much for listening. If this content is delivering value to you, please make sure to subscribe, rate, and review us. That helps us build this community, and that is what we are all about. Building this community as big as we can, helping as many people as we can, and deliver as much value as possible. Be sure to head over to letsgowinpodcast.com for information on my coaching courses, and make sure to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn at Let's Go Win 365. Let's go win and transcend in life.
This is the Let's Go Win podcast with your host, J.M. Ryerson.